Hi, my name is Jared Altman, and this is the first in a series of YouTube casts about my firm's core values. There's going to be some other podcasts coming up soon, including, why I'm in the work I am and what about it just really drives me. I also just did my first podcast with with a tax lawyer that I know and I'm friends with, and we talked about private debt collectors. So if you're dealing with one of those jokers, go over there and check out my podcast on that, and we'll we'll give you some good information. And there's a great offer there about how to deal with them. And just other than that, this podcast is going to be about the core value that we have at my firm, which is excellent communication. So one of the things that I think is really valuable in my practice, which tends to be more towards helping people who are on the wrong side of the IRS. And I'm even developing kind of some subspecialties in there because of the particular geographic area that I practice in, is excellent communication. And I know everybody says that, but one of the reasons why I find it so important is because I've dealt with both family and friends who've had tax problems since I've started. Some of them ended up using me. Some of them didn't, just because of where they were. There's some state-specific issues that, especially on the West Coast, that I'm not that up on, and so it didn't make sense. It wouldn't have made sense for them to use me. And I just noticed as they're talking with me about this, I've just noticed the anxiety and the pain that some of this caused. And I had always noticed it in my clients, but one of the things, it's different when it's somebody that you really, really care about, which doesn't mean that I don't care about my clients, but it's like you can work with people and, you kind of can get a sense of their emotional state. And then if someone that you actually know and care about from your personal life is going through that same thing, it kind of affects you more. And that was my experience with that. I saw just kind of the stress and all the uncertainty that they had going on, and it really kind of made it more real for me what it's like on the other side of my work. Uh, and so that was, I think a lot of people, a lot of accountants, a lot of tax professionals, tax lawyers, I've seen it there too. They very much have the sense that, I'm going to get the stuff done and I'm going to do it and I'm going to communicate with you when I need to because I'm busy. And one of the things that I think I've been very intentional about in my firm is really trying to over communicate and walk people through things. And if you're not sure about something, we're going to schedule a time to talk about it. And it might not be today, but we're going to have regular check-ins. You're going to know what's going on. If we get a letter in the mail, even if it's not important, and you get that letter too, you're going to get a call, because we know that while we can look at it and go, yeah, this is no big deal, that's not necessarily how our clients are feeling about it. Every letter you get is a big deal because you don't know what it means. And your mind starts racing, and then you're worrying about, does this mean that the IRS is going to do something that's going to, blow my life apart? And most of the time that's not the case, but it's understandable that people are worried about that. So we really focus on, good communication, explaining things, even if it's the umpteenth time, so that, because it's not just about giving somebody the knowledge, it's also about reassuring them that someone has their back and that we care and that, we've got this. And, most people only go through this once in their life. So it's, you got to hear something 7 or 8 times to really understand it and intake it. And I think a lot of professionals, even some that I've worked with, they start to get annoyed. But, seeing it happen with my family and friends, it just made me, it put it in a different light, and it made me realize just how that over explaining, it's not about, it's about making sure that the process is, it's about making sure that the process is as easy for them emotionally as possible. And that's a really soft kind of skill. And it's one that I've been really working on with what I do in my own firm, because in a lot of cases, I just want to get it done and get them a resolution. But I've learned that if I don't really try to help people understand and reassure them and walk them through the process over and over again, sometimes they can end up making mistakes. I've had clients where, I told them, don't send anything, don't talk to the IRS, don't do anything. I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it. And then I tell them that, but I don't over communicate it. And I tell them 2 weeks ago that they're going to get a letter. And then they get a letter and they call me up and I tell them I'm on it, but I don't go into detail about what I'm on it. And then they go and respond to the letter and they make more work for me, which is because then I have to go fix that. And, in some cases when somebody does something like that, luckily it hasn't happened yet. They could do something that I couldn't fix. So one of the things that I think is really important, and it's the number one why it's a number one core value at my firm, is excellent communication. I want people to know what their plan is, to feel like they're engaged with their plan, that we're walking through this together, and that that level of service is important to make sure that somebody gets the resolution they want. And so that's why excellent communication is one of the core values at my firm. And it's something I'm always going to be working on. I know I'll never be perfect. I know it'll never be, I'll never be perfect. And I know that sometimes I may goof up on it. And if I do, I want my clients to let me know that they don't feel like I'm communicating well, so I can fix that. There's nobody's going to be able to promise it perfect all the time, but that's one of, my goals and my touchstones for my firm. So again, this is Jared, and these are the core values for my firm, JP Altman. You can see the other core values coming up soon on our other podcasts as well.